Hi, everyone. Welcome to this session on small cases and Kotak baskets. In today's session, we will be talking about predominantly what the concept of a Kotak basket is all about. We'll try to explore why these baskets were created, how you can go and utilize these Kotak baskets for your investment requirements. And we'll also be taking a look at some new fee-based Kotak baskets which have been launched on the Kotak Securities platform. So this will be a very dynamic session where we'll be showing you the actual platform and we'll try to explore these baskets together. So before we start doing that, I do have one request. For those of you who have any questions, feel free to post these questions in the questions box, which is available on your screen. So I will be taking these questions in the end. It does not matter if the question is, if the question you feel is valid or invalid. You can go ahead and post it over there and feel free to ask any question that is relevant to this discussion today. So what we will be doing right now is I will be taking you to the Kotak Securities homepage. So right now we have landed on kotaksecurities.com. And on this homepage, if you scroll down to products and if you head over to stock baskets, you will be able to basically take a look at all the Kotak baskets that are available on this platform. To do so, you have to click on Discover and click on All Small Cases. So over here, you basically find a list of all the baskets that you can participate in via your Kotak Securities account. So before we explore how to do that, let us try to fundamentally understand what a Kotak basket is all about. So a Kotak basket is nothing but a group of stocks that has been designed with a particular idea or a theme. So this idea or theme could be dependent on a variety of factors. For example, let us say I am an investor and I want to invest in the pharma sector going forward. So is it possible to basically go ahead, pick all the stocks, pharma sector stocks one by one and try to make it into a portfolio in my trading and demat account? It will definitely be possible, but there is a simpler way to do it. And that simple way is called as Kotak baskets. So over here, what we are going to do is we will try to see how a basket is basically designed and what are the set of constituents in a basket. For example, let me click on the first basket that opens up. So this is called as the Samvat 2078 basket. So over here, I'll try to explain the overview section of how it basically works. So here, what this basket is all about will be explained in one single line here. So here we see that the investment is happening in companies that stand to benefit from the Samvat 2078 from a fundamental standpoint or from a fundamental outlook. And why somebody should invest in this particular basket will be mentioned over here in the overview section. So the overview section gives a very detailed explanation of why this particular basket is fit for your investment requirements. So if any of you have any queries about a basket before going ahead and investing in that, this is the place to go and check it out. Similarly, each basket comes with the most important component attached to it, that is the performance metric. So if somebody wants to figure out, if you as an investor want to figure out if this basket is delivering, X amount of return or Y amount of return, then what you can do is scroll down and basically see how this basket has performed over a period of time. So here we can see two graphs. One is the blue line, which depicts the Kotak basket in question. In this case, the Samvat 2078 basket. And the second one, that is the yellow line, represents the benchmark index. So the benchmark index can be anything. It can be equity large cap index, Nifty 50. It could be equity small cap index and so on. So over here, what you can try to do is if you wish to figure out how this basket has performed in the last 3 years or 2 years or 1 year with respect to an index, you can go ahead, click on the 3-year button, 2-year button, 1-year button, and so on, and try to figure out how this basket has basically performed. So when you see the performance graph, every performance graph starts with a notional value of 100. So what this is trying to show is what kind of return the client would have made or what kind of return the user would have made if the user had invested 100 rupees over a period of 1 year or over a period of 2 years, 3 years, and so on. So let us take 1 year as an example for this particular basket. So if you had invested 100 rupees as a notional investment about 1 year ago, so today the capital appreciation would have happened and the total return that the user would have fetched is about 36%, which means 100 has become 136 rupees. Similarly, at the same point of time, if you had invested in the large cap index, 100 would have become 127 by now, which means that it is a 27% return if you're directly invested in the index. So this is how you can go ahead and read a graph and basically try to figure out if the small case or if the Kotak basket is performing well with respect to a benchmark index. Similarly, for those of you who wish to understand more about a particular Kotak basket, for example, if you want to try to understand some performance metrics like PE ratio, PB ratio, Sharpe ratio, dividend yield, and so on, and if you want to explore more about a basket, let us say that you're exploring any basket of your choice and it seems interesting to you and you want to explore more about it. If you want to do that, there is a fact sheet button over here. Every basket that has been listed on the Kotak Securities platform has a fact sheet button attached to it. So when you click on the fact sheet, a downloadable PDF opens up where you can basically see all the details that are related to that particular Kotak basket. For example, you can actually download this PDF by clicking on the download button here. So you can see things like the rationale of the small case in the sense why this particular portfolio or why this particular basket has been designed. Then you will find details like in the methodology section, like how the universe of stocks were defined, what is the research mechanism that went into it, for how long has it been historically backtested against an index, what is the screening mechanism, what is the weighting mechanism, are all the stocks in this basket equally weighted, are all these stocks weighted according to their market cap, are they weighted according to different for example, are they weighted differently according to the expected best performing stocks, expected second best performing stock, and so on. All those details will be listed in the weighting mechanism. Similarly, you find something called as a rebalance description here. So I'll come down to the rebalance description very shortly. But before that, know that the rebalance and details with respect to rebalance will be mentioned in the fact sheet. I'll be covering rebalance and what rebalance does in a bit. So for those of you who are already financially savvy and you want to find out, specific details, financial details about this particular basket, what you can do is head over to the ratios section in the fact sheet. So here we find things like what is the PE ratio of the small case and what is the PE ratio of the large cap index right now, what is the PB ratio, Sharpe ratio, dividend yields, and all that will be mentioned in the ratios section. Similarly, if you scroll down, you will find some important fields such as the date of inception, date of launch, what kind of market cap category does it come to. For example, here it says it's an equity large cap. It comes under the equity large cap category. What it means is that most of the stocks in this particular Kotak basket is made up of large cap stocks. And if it were made up of small cap stocks, then the market cap category would have come as equity small cap. Similarly, you find the review frequency here. Review and rebalance mean one and the same thing. So here you see the review frequency is yearly, and you will find out that the next review of this particular basket is going to happen on December 1st. You will also see things like market cap distribution, where you'll see that 90% of the stocks in this particular basket is large cap, 10% is mid cap, and so on. You'll also find details about the small case basket's performance mentioned over here. You can also see steps to invest and so on right over here. Now, coming to one of the most important queries. This query usually comes to our desk more often. What exactly is a rebalance? So before we understand that, we now know that a Kotak basket is nothing but a set of stocks which is based on a particular strategy. Now, this strategy can be a variety of strategies. So, for example, if you believe in growth-based stocks, then a portfolio can be curated where we put in only growth-based stocks into it. And these growth-based stocks will be picked up by a SEBI-registered analyst who is taking a look at this particular portfolio or curating this particular portfolio. Now, Can anybody come over to the platform and can they basically go ahead and curate a portfolio? It doesn't happen like that. Only SEBI registered research professionals, for example, those who have their research analyst license or registered investment advisor license or PMS license, can come over to the platform and can curate a basket of stocks. Now, for example, when we take a look at the platform, we will find that most of the portfolios or most of these baskets have been curated by the research team at Kotak Securities. And they come over and they design many of the portfolios according to customers' requirements. Now, let us try to understand what a rebalance is. So we do know that there are small cases which can be curated based on growth-based strategy, based on momentum-based strategy, based on things like dividend-based strategies, or it could be based on sector-specific themes like pharma sector theme, or it could be something like a banking, private banking, public banking, or a mixture of banking and so on. So what is a rebalance? Now, let us say that tomorrow you go ahead and you click on Discover, you click on all small cases, and basically you pick any small case of your choice. In this case, let us take a look at Abacus Smart Premier League. Now, you go through the why somebody should invest in the small case section. You research more about this particular basket, and then let us say you're convinced to go ahead and start your investment in this particular basket. Now, let us say, for example, that this basket has 20 stocks into it, and all these 20 stocks have now been picked up in your trading and demat account. What happens when you invest in a Kotak basket is that all of the stocks that are listed in that particular basket will get directly picked up in your Kotak Securities trading and demat account. And you will be the owner of these particular stocks. This works no differently from directly going ahead and purchasing these stocks. Here, you're doing it in a very professional way through a basket, and you're able to track the basket's performance. Now, let us say that 20 stocks were purchased in your trading and demat account because you went ahead and you subscribed to or you went ahead and invested in any one of these portfolios. Does that mean that 1 year later, 2 years later, or 3 years later, you will have the same set of 20 stocks? It doesn't work like that. So what happens here is very interesting. Now, we can see that this particular basket has been created by an entity called Abacus Investment Advisors. Now, what is going to happen is Abacus Investment Advisors will frequently take a look at this particular basket, and they will try to understand if the stocks are healthy and they can continue going forward, or if out of the 20, 25 stocks or 10 stocks in the particular basket, some stocks have to be removed over a period of time because they have either played out as expected and now things have to change, or they're not performing as per expectations. It could be any one of these. So the time or the date on which they're going to decide that is called as a rebalance date. And on a rebalance date, basically what is going to happen is whoever is the research analyst maintaining this particular basket. For this basket, it is Abacus Investment Advisors. For another basket, it could be Kotak Research Team and so on. They are going to remove the unhealthy stocks and add in more healthy stocks for the portfolio to stay healthy and continue. So this procedure of removing some unhealthy stocks and putting in new stocks is called as a rebalance. And every Kotak basket has a rebalance date attached to it. And this is the specific date on which the research analyst is going to review that portfolio or review that basket of stocks. And if they feel that some changes have to be made, they're going to make these changes. If they feel that no changes have to be made, then they're not going to make any changes. So if you want to find out when a rebalance is going to happen for a particular basket, what you can do is click on the fact sheet. So, for example, if you click on this particular fact sheet of Abacus, what you will be able to do is you'll be able to scroll down and you will be able to see the review frequency. So for this particular portfolio, that is Abacus Smart Premier League, the review frequency is monthly, which means once in a month, Abacus Investment Advisors is coming over. They're taking a look at this entire portfolio or basket. They're trying to figure out whether it is healthy to continue or whether some changes need to be made. It is not only removing one or two stocks and adding one or two stocks, but changing the weightage of stocks. For example, increasing the weightage of a good performing stock and decreasing the weightage of a underperforming stock can also be done. And that is also called as a rebalance. Now, as you can see, this particular small case basket has a monthly rebalance frequency, and it has last been reviewed on January 14th, 2022, and will be next reviewed on February 14th, 2022. So once in a month, this Kotak basket is continuously being reviewed and rebalanced. Is rebalancing mandatory by a research analyst? Not necessarily. If they feel that the portfolio is healthy and the portfolio can continue without much changes which need to be done, then they're going to allow the portfolio to continue without any changes being done. So that can also happen. But on the review date, if they wish to make changes, they can make changes. Apart from the review date, changes will not be made. Generally, changes will not be made to any particular basket. So that is the concept of a rebalancing. And every small case or every Kotak basket undergoes a rebalancing, which have been listed on the Kotak Securities platform. So now that we have understood what small cases are, what you can do is click on Discover and click on All Small Cases, and you can take a look at all the small cases that have been listed here. Today, we'll be talking about specific small cases, which are, I would say, the top performing ones and the ones that have been picked by the Kotak research team. So that is how we are going to go about and take a look at these particular small cases. To do that, you can click on All Small Cases, and then you can click on Fee-based Small Cases. So over here, you will be able to have a look at all the fee-based small cases that have been launched for clients. So what I'm going to do is take you through the journey. But before taking you through the journey, if you can give me about 1 minute, I will get back to you. Yes. So over here, we were taking a look at the 3 fee-based small cases that have been introduced on the platform. So over here, why is it that these 3 small cases, or why is it that these 3 portfolios specifically have been launched over here? So there is a reason for that. There is a certain understanding that some portfolios are expected to perform well going forward. And these portfolios have been termed as ACE portfolios. And these are very specific portfolios which are expected to perform well. What you can also do is once you've come over to smallcase.kotaksecurities.com, you can click on Discover, you can scroll down, and you can click on ACE portfolios here. So if you're able to scroll down, you will be able to see the same set of 3 ACE portfolios. That is Abacus Smart Premier League, The Wall, and Master Blaster. So these 3 portfolios are the ones that we will be talking about specifically in this particular session. So why is it that we are going to focus on only these particular small cases today? Is for a certain set of reasons. These are premium portfolios meant for premium clients to subscribe. And these portfolios are not generally meant for an audience which is looking for small cases to just participate in for a trial basis, but for those kind of clients who want to participate in these kind of baskets over a lengthy period of time or over a long period of time to utilize the benefits that come along with these particular small case baskets. So let us take a look at the first basket in question, which is the Abacus Smart Premier League. So I'll be explaining each of these particular baskets in detail, and we'll be going through why it is important to understand this. So the name of the small case will be mentioned here. As we know, it is Abacus Smart Premier League. What it does will be mentioned in one line over here. So here it states that the investment is happening predominantly within top 250 companies with select smaller companies to generate alpha. What does this basically mean? So here, what we mean by top 250 companies is that the investment is happening in top 250 companies according to their market capitalization. So are we taking into consideration Bombay Stock Exchange based stocks? No. So here the investment is happening only for NSE based stocks. And the top 250 NSE based stocks, according to market capitalization, is considered for this particular basket. So, and there are, of course, select smaller companies. It does not necessarily mean that all the set of stocks belong to the top 250 companies. There will be a couple of stocks, maybe one or two stocks, which do not belong to that particular category. Now, what does generating higher alphas means? Generating higher alphas basically means being able to generate a higher return compared to any benchmark return. For example, if Nifty 50 as an index delivers 10% return over a period of 1 year, and if this particular portfolio or if any portfolio is able to generate 12% return or 14% return, then that particular basket is set to have generated higher alphas compared to a benchmark index. And similarly, if they generate a lower return, let us say benchmark return is 10%, Nifty 50 return is 10%, and this particular basket is generating 8% return or 7% return. In that case, it is said that this particular basket is not able to generate higher returns or is not able to generate higher alphas. So here the investment is happening in those companies where it belongs to the top 250 companies, with limited companies coming out of that particular basket. And those companies are being chosen, which is expected to give higher than benchmark expected returns. Now, let us take a look at how it is managing to do that. So the first benefit, or the first, I would say, category, that the first important consideration that Abacus Investment Advisors is giving to this portfolio is that this is a benchmark agnostic portfolio. What a benchmark agnostic portfolio is that they are not, when they're basically taking up stocks to include in this particular basket, they are not going to consider what returns the benchmark is giving and so on. So what generally happens is, when a portfolio is being designed by a particular investment advisor, that particular advisor generally tries to take a look at whether this particular stock is going to, generate 1 or 2% returns more than the index. If the index is going to perform well, will this particular stock perform well? If the index doesn't perform well, will this particular stock fall, and so on. So most of the stocks these days are being picked up based on whether or not it is going to follow the index or not. But here it is a benchmark agnostic diversified portfolio. What this means is that benchmark is not considered, which means the index is not considered as a mode to understand whether or not the stocks need to be picked up. What is happening here is, irrespective of whether Nifty is expected to generate higher return or lower return in the next 1 year or in the next 2 years, irrespective of that, the stocks are being picked up. Here, we are trying to understand whether each and every stock is worth having for a long period of time, and then they're going to decide whether or not to include in this particular portfolio. Even if indexes are not expected to do well, these stocks that are getting picked up are expected to do well because of many fundamental characteristics that go into designing that particular portfolio. Similarly, we have something called as bottom-up approach happening in this particular basket. So what does bottom-up approach mean? So here what is happening is, all the stocks are getting picked up not by looking at the market economy first, then the sector next, and the stocks coming after that. Here what is happening is, the stocks are being decided first based on their own characteristics. Then it is decided whether it falls under the correct category or the correct sector. And then they're looking at the overall market condition. And then they're going to curate a portfolio. That is called as a bottom-up approach. Similarly, what is the next question that comes is, if all these stocks are put together, what is the general typical holding period? So the typical holding period of these particular stocks is roughly about 3 to 5 years. We saw in the fact sheet that it has a monthly review cycle. In the monthly review cycle, they are going to decide whether or not all of them are following this particular criteria. The expected holding time is 3 to 5 years, but if something adverse happens in one particular stock, or if something adverse happens in one particular sector, then at that point of time, the holding period can change and 1 or 2 stocks can be added or removed. But typically, if you look at this particular basket, the holding period is for 3 to 5 years. Now, the next category that we can see here is that this particular portfolio adheres to something called as MEETS framework, MEETS, MEETS framework. Now, what is a MEETS framework? The M there stands for management. What it means is that when Abacus Investment Advisors is deciding how to basically go ahead and select stocks in this portfolio, they are going ahead, meeting with the management of that particular company, and they are figuring out if the management is strong enough to run this company. And if the management is strong enough, then they're going to categorize it under good management, that is M. So the next E stands for earnings. What earnings means is they are investing in those companies which are consistently increasing their earnings quarter on quarter and year on year going forward. So the next E stands for events. Events basically means are these particular set of stocks picked up in such a way that they're not exposed to unwanted events that are happening in this particular industry. For example, if banking sector as a sector is going through, let us say, some sort of regulatory changes or it could be policy changes and so on, then it is expected that banking sector stocks are exposed to certain events. And it could also mean that a good event or a bad event could have a positive impact on a company. So those kind of stocks are picked up where turbulent events are not expected going forward. And if you look at the past, there have been some positive events that have already impacted this particular stock. So that stands for the next E, that is the events. The next T stands for timing. So here what we are talking about is the exact time to go ahead and invest in this particular stock. So every stock has a certain, we cannot exactly time the particular, the date on which the stocks have to be picked up, but there is a certain timing that most of the stocks can generally be picked up around. So this specific T stands for the timing during which it is best expected that the stock is going to perform well. That is the next T in the MEETS framework. So the S stands for structure. What it means is the overall structure. Is the management good? Is the hierarchy level good? And are the ideas flowing from the bottom to top? And there are certain structures that have historically played out well for some companies which have been able to scale very well. So are these new companies that we are investing in having a solid structure around it? A hierarchical structure, that is the organizational structure, is what the S stands for. So basically, the MEETS framework is being continuously considered by Abacus Investment Advisors to pick up stocks for this particular portfolio. Now, how many stocks come about in this particular portfolio? We have 25 companies listed in the basket, and the stock exposure, maximum exposure to each particular stock stands at 10%. And the overall exposure to an entire sector stands at 30%. So we do not tend to change these particular weightages. These particular weightages will remain constant throughout. Now, you can go ahead and check the max performance also. Before we do that, there is one important thing that you need to know about Abacus Investment Advisors. Over here, this particular basket is being managed personally by Sunil Singhania, who was the ex-manager of Reliance Mutual Fund. And one of their funds, that is the Reliance Growth Fund, had managed to return about 100x to its investors over a period of 21 years. So that is the same research entity which has now, so Sunil Singhania post that left Reliance, started his own research advisory under Abacus Investment Advisors, and that particular entity is in charge of this particular basket. So for somebody who wants to invest in Abacus Smart Premier League, the minimum ticket size starts with about 5 lakh rupees. So there is a reason why it starts with 5 lakhs and not anything less than that, because the set of stocks in this particular portfolio is they're quite huge. In the sense, 25 stocks are being purchased in this particular basket. So since the set of stocks are high, the ticket size also is quite high. And it is not meant for a kind of retail audience, but is meant for since this is a premium portfolio, it is meant for a premium client base who can afford to invest 5 lakhs and, basically take advantage of the MEETS framework that is coming along with it. And one thing that you should also know is that since the rebalance frequency is monthly, what we can do is, what you can be assured of is that this particular basket is consistently rebalanced and reviewed by the investment advisor in question, which is the Abacus investment advisors. Now, let us take a look at the next ACE portfolio. So the next ACE portfolio is termed as the wall. So the wall has been created by Kotak Securities research team. So taking a look at this particular portfolio in one shot, here the portfolio is investing in high ROE company. ROE stands for return on equity, companies with a strong corporate governance. So over here, one thing that we notice is that return on equity basically means that companies are able to generate higher profits without additional capital requirements. So what we have noticed historically is these kind of companies continuously tend to deliver returns irrespective of whether it is whether it is a good performing market condition or whether it is a underperforming market condition. And as we can see, most of the stocks in this particular basket have delivered about a 15% CAGR. CAGR stands for compounded annual growth rate. So over a period of time, all these stocks have been individually delivering in and around 15% of returns. And some of the main important components or characteristics of this particular basket, they are, we only, in the sense, Kotak research team only invests in high return on equity stocks. That is criteria number one. And the criteria two is consistent margins. Have these companies been able to consistently keep their operational profits going? And well-capitalized balance sheets, which means that, debts are good and there is enough capital available for all the future requirements. And strong corporate governance, which means that, the management is strong, credible, and has historically shown good practices, be it in terms on the business side or be it in terms of the human resources. So that is what we mean by corporate governance. So this Kotak basket, which has been named as the wall, basically takes care or invests in these kind of stocks. And over here, you can again click on the fact sheet and explore a downloadable PDF in which you will be able to take a look at more details. Or if you want to explore more about this particular basket, you can go ahead and click on the fact sheet button. So the next ACE portfolio that we'll be discussing today is going to be Master Blaster. So again, if you want to figure out where these portfolios exist, you'll have to click on Discover, Collections, scroll down, and then head over to ACE portfolios. And over here, you can see Master Blaster. So Master Blaster is again a kind of a small case basket or a Kotak basket in which the investment is happening across a variety of sectors and at the same point of time only in large cap stocks in these particular sectors. So most of this particular stock basket's exposure, since it is happening only to large cap stocks, the volatility is what we mean by volatility is the degree to which it fluctuates with the markets. Since the exposure is happening predominantly for large cap stocks here, the volatility is expected to be medium volatility, which means it's not expected to fluctuate too much with the markets. And this is meant for those kind of clients who want to invest in large cap stocks and in a large cap portfolio without having to participate in too much of market fluctuations. So here, this portfolio, basically, if you see the last 3 years performance, it has delivered about a 91% return against a benchmark return of about 64%. And similarly, if you take a look at the last 2 years performance, you will see that this particular basket has delivered about 61% return as against a benchmark return of just about 48%. So these particular baskets are managing to significantly outperform the indexes. And that is the reason why they have a pricing structure attached to it. So if you see this particular basket, that is Master Blaster, the pricing structure starts from 11,800 for 1 year. So here, the minimum ticket size starts from 10 lakhs and the pricing structure is 10,000 plus GST, which comes up to 11,800. So if at the same point of time, if we take a look at the other ACE portfolios. For example, the wall. The wall starts with a subscription fee of 5,000 plus GST for subscribing to this particular the wall small case. Similarly, if we head over to Abacus Smart Premier League, Abacus Smart Premier League pricing structure starts from 3,500 plus GST plus 2.5% of pricing structure attached to it. So this 2.5% is a recurring fee, which depends on how much you have invested in that particular basket. So if you start your investment with 10 lakhs in Abacus Smart Premier League, then the pricing structure will be 2.5% of 10 lakhs. That is the trailing pricing structure. And the upfront fee will be 3,500 plus GST. So we have now taken a look at how we can go ahead and explore these kind of ACE portfolios that have been listed on the platform. So what we will do next is take a look at how we can go ahead, use our Kotak Securities account and subscribe to any of these particular small case baskets. So to do that, what we have to do is, I'm going to run through a very quick PPT. So all of you can actually pay attention to the PPT. We have introduced a new structure where the fee debits will happen directly from the Kotak Securities trading and demat account. So that is how you can go ahead and invest in these Kotak fee-based baskets. So the first thing is, as we all know, we have to head over to smallcase.kotaksecurities.com. Over here, once you land on this particular page, what you can do is click on all small cases and then click on fee-based small cases. So here, the list of fee-based small cases will be visible. Now, what we have to do is select the small case or select the Kotak basket of our choice. So in this example, we have gone ahead with the wall. So here, once you click on the small case of your choice, what you can do is a pop-up will open up where you'll have to now input your details. So the details include your registered name as per your KSL account, the registered email ID and the registered phone number have to be inputted here. So if you input any other email ID which has not been registered with your Kotak Securities account or any phone number which has not been registered with your KSL account, then you will not be able to continue from here. Next, what you have to do is once you input those details, you can click on continue. And once you click on continue, you'll have to input your PAN number and you'll have to input your date of birth. Once you do that, automatically you can select the plan of your choice. So this particular Kotak basket comes under a 12 months plan, that is 5,000 plus GST, which comes up to 5,900. So that will be auto selected. Once you do that, you'll have to click on the pay 5,900 button over there. Once you click on the button, the payment method will open up where you'll have to select Kotak Securities as your broker account. So once you select Kotak Securities as your broker, you will be asked to proceed and the debiting of the permission will be taken from you to debit 5,900 from your trading and demat account. Once you do that, you can click on subscribe and post that. You will see this particular pop-up coming in your screen, which says, congratulations, you have now subscribed to this particular basket. Here, you can see the term of this, you can see the duration of the subscription. Here it says that it's a 12-month subscription. And the subscription fee will be mentioned here, which is 5,900. And the renewal date will be mentioned here. And here it says it's an auto renew. It has been selected as auto renew. If you want to test this portfolio for 12 months and you do not want to auto renew it, what you can do is on the previous screen, here you can select the 12 months option and you can choose not to click on the auto renew option. If you don't do that, you will not find the auto renew option over here. So this will be a one-time subscription. Once you do this, your subscription process has been thoroughly completed. Now, what you can do is start your investment journey. So before we do all that, we'll have to make sure that the investment amount and the subscription fee amount is already present in our Kotak Securities trading and demat account. Only when we have ensured that this is present, should we proceed from there. So now, once you've come down to the screen, your subscription process is complete. What you can do now is click on the Invest Now button. So once you click on the Invest Now button, a pop-up will open up where you can select the investment amount of your choice. So every small case, as we had discussed, has a minimum ticket size attached to it. So so the wall small case has a 5 lakh ticket size attached to it. You cannot select anything less than 5 lakhs. You can select anything more than 5 lakhs or 5 lakhs as the amount. Once that is done, you can click on confirm amount, and then you can scroll down and click on the invest now button. So once you click on the invest now button, before you do that, you can see the list of stocks, their current market price, and the quantity that will be purchased. So once you click on the invest now button, what will happen is it will ask you to confirm orders. And once you click on confirm orders, all the set of stocks in that particular basket will now be picked up in your Kotak Securities trading and demat account automatically in one click, in one shot. So there is no requirement to go ahead and pick ABB Limited, Larsen and Toubro, Infosys, Bharti Airtel, and so on, one by one. All these stocks in their respective quantities in one single order will be picked up in your trading and demat account. So at what prices will these stocks be picked up? They'll be picked up at the current market price. So these are not limit orders. All these orders will get triggered at whatever is the price of these particular stocks at that particular moment. What if you're placing these orders post market hours? What if you're placing these orders after 3:30? In such cases, all these will be pending orders and they will get executed at 9:15 on the very next day. So you can go ahead, click on confirm orders. Once you do that, you will see a screen which says waiting for order status and 0 out of 13 filled. So over here, you have to wait for approximately 15 to 20 seconds and a maximum of 30 seconds, where all these stocks are now getting picked up in your trading and demat account. And once it is picked, you will see this particular screen which states that all the orders have been filled. That is 13 out of 13 orders have been filled. So once you do that, what you can do is click on See Investments. When you click on See Investments, you will be able to see that under your investments, this particular small case basket or this particular Kotak basket, that is the wall, has now been you've successfully managed to subscribe to it, and the portfolio or the basket has successfully now been purchased and invested in your own Kotak Securities account. So now you have managed to complete the procedure. So if you want to explore more about this particular portfolio, what you can do is click on investments and click on this portfolio here, and you'll be able to view all the set of stocks that have been purchased. If you want to see the total returns that this particular portfolio has managed to generate over a period of time, let us say in about 30 days, you can log into your system or you can log into your web-based login or mobile login. After 30 days, you can scroll here and you will be able to see the total returns that this particular basket has been able to generate. Now, if you head over to the same wall portfolio, you will be able to see that your subscription is active because now you've managed to subscribe to this particular small case basket successfully. Now that you have managed to do this, what you can do is check your subscription details. So if you wish to see at any later point of time, what are the details of this particular subscription, what you can do is come over to this Kotak basket of your choice. Here you will be able to see that the subscription is active. You can click on See Details over here. So once you click on See Details, this particular pop-up opens up where you can click on See Details and you will be shown what is the plan duration, that is the date on which you subscribe, the date on which it expires, and the plan which has been used for subscription, that is 5,900 annually. And then you can keep that information for a later date. For example, if it expires on Jan 17th, we will be reminding you through emails, through WhatsApp, stating that the subscription is about to expire, and you can go ahead and renew it automatically. Now, is there a lock-in period to these particular baskets? There is no lock-in period whatsoever. So at any point of time, if you feel that you want to cancel your subscription because you want to participate in a different small case basket, you do not want to continue the subscription, it could be a variety of reasons. If you feel like doing that, you will find the three buttons over there. So you can head over and click on the 3 dots here, wherein the cancel subscription option will be provided to you. So if you click on cancel subscription, the subscription will be successfully cancelled. And this is the procedure to basically go ahead and seamlessly invest on the Kotak Securities platform. So the fee debiting and the investment debiting is happening directly from your Kotak balance, Kotak Securities balance. And so please make sure that the ledger balance is according to your to the request, to the required amount. And once you do that, you can go ahead and subscribe to any of these yes portfolios of your choice. So this is what we wanted to discuss with you today. So this is a new platform where investing is quite easy. You can take a look at a variety of investment strategies and basically go ahead and choose which small case basket or choose which Kotak basket or ACE portfolio fits your investment requirement. And by having the fee structure and the investment structure available for debit in the same Kotak Securities account, you'll be able to go ahead and transact very smoothly on the platform. So with that said, if you have any technical queries with respect to how to use the account more, or if you're getting stuck at any point of time, what you can do is call up your relationship manager at Kotak, and your relationship manager will be able to guide you better on how to go about and execute the steps that have been explained today. So now, since we have taken a look at the presentation, what we will be doing is going through some questions that the audience generally has. So I can see that some questions have already been posed by the audience. So what we're going to do is take up these questions one by one. If you have any queries, this is the time. Feel free to drop it in the chat box and I'll be taking up these questions. So the first question is from Mr. Chopra. What are the extra features or benefits if I invest through fee-based small cases? So the extra features or benefits is fairly simple. Fee-based small cases are fee-based for a particular reason. They're not free for a particular reason. So that is because these baskets have been designed with a very, very well thought out philosophy. And when it is very well thought out, we have to take into consideration that the best research managers are actually coming over and designing these particular baskets. So when that is the case, there is a fee that is attached to it. But if you look at it from a returns perspective, for example, if you look at one of the small case baskets we were looking at, where in the last 2 years, the return generated has been about 90%, then paying a fee or an expense ratio of 1% should not really be a concern. And that is a small fee that you're paying to ensure that the advisor who is managing that particular portfolio has enough interest in managing that particular portfolio. So that is the reason why you're paying a fee. And the extra benefits that you're going to get is that these are all baskets which are continuously and constantly being monitored by these particular advisors. So that is one benefit that you're getting. And the second benefit is that these have been categorized as premium portfolios or premium baskets because they're expected to give higher alphas in the long run. And for example, like I said, Abacus Investment Advisors is being managed by Sunil Singhania. And his one particular fund, like I said, has managed to return 100 times the invested amount to its investors over a period of 21 years. So these kind of baskets are generally fee-based baskets, and they do not get listed under the free category. So those are the extra benefits that you're going to get. So with respect to all the questions which were asked about how to invest, I believe that these are all questions that were asked before the session started. So we have gone through the step-by-step procedure of how to go ahead and invest in this particular basket. So the next question is, who are the financial managers? So who are the financial managers? They're basically SEBI registered advisors. So SEBI gives out its research analyst license or registered investment advisor license, portfolio management services license to certain entities who are allowed to design these particular portfolios according to their interests, their logic, and their experience. So these are the financial managers who can come over to the Kotak Securities platform, and they can basically list their portfolios under the KSL platform. So So the next question is with respect to margin trading. So margin trading questions, it is better that you get in touch with your RM or your dealer, and they will be able to explain it better to you. So the next question is, are there any extra brokerage charges for this? So yes, Mr. Singh, there will be brokerage charges that are attached to the transactions that happen. Every time a stock is bought or sold is a transaction that is happening in your trading in Demat account. So whatever is the brokerage charges that have been applied to your account will still be applicable. If you need more clarity on the brokerage charges, feel free to get in touch with your RM. So the next question is, how will we receive communication for the same? So I believe that this question, how will we receive communication for the same with respect to brokerage charges? You can reach out to your RM. If it is with respect to rebalances happening, then every time a rebalancing is happening where some stocks are added and some stocks are removed. So in such a case, the rebalance notification will come to you via your mobile app. It could be smallcase mobile app. It could be Kotak mobile app. It will come through emails, WhatsApp notifications, and SMS. So in these particular ways, you will be notified that a rebalance has been issued. Yes. So the next question is with respect to when rebalancing is happening, what is the amount that is being allocated? So usually what happens is, let us say because of 3 or 4 stocks which are being removed, let us say that 50,000 of funds were released back into the account because of the sale because of the selling of shares during the time of selling. So the same 50,000 will be used by the investment advisor to pick up the next set of stocks. Generally, more amount will not be required. The next set of stocks will get picked up within this 50,000 only. So can we see those company names in which the investment is going to happen? So no, Mr. Tejam, you will not. For fee-based portfolios, you will not be able to see the list of companies. These companies will be hidden. These scripts or stocks will be hidden because you haven't made the subscription amount. You have not paid the subscription amount yet. So once you pay the subscription amount, the list of companies will be displayed over there. So can we invest monthly in a small case? So this is a great question, Akash. Yes, you can invest on a monthly basis in a small case. Every small case has something called as an SIP route attached to it. So if you want to make monthly SIPs, you can feel free to do so. You can set it up by clicking on the Invest Now button. You will be provided with 2 options, lump sum investment or SIP investment. If you want to start your SIP, first you have to make your lump sum investment, and then you will find the SIP option then and there. You can click the SIP option and set up an SIP. There are 4 SIPs that you can do, 4 types of SIPs. It is general for most of the portfolios, but for some portfolios, any one of these options might not exist. We have weekly SIPs, fortnightly SIPs. Fortnightly means once in 2 weeks. We have monthly SIP, and then we have quarterly SIP. So whatever SIP you are comfortable with, you can go ahead and do that. So can an NRI invest? Yes, an NRI can invest in small cases because these are no different from direct equity investments. If you have more queries on how to go ahead and use your NRI account to invest, please feel free to reach out to your RM. So for those of you who are asking for recording of this particular session, you can reach out to Kotak Securities team and they'll be able to share across the recording. So there is a question about exit rules if the expected performance is not happening. So this is an interesting question. So if you feel that the expected performance is not coming through, there could be a couple of reasons because of it. So for example, in March 2020, we saw that the markets corrected by roughly about 35% in a very short duration of time. So if that happens, then no portfolio is expected to perform well during such a market turbulent condition. If the markets are performing decently well, then these particular portfolios will also be expected to perform well. So in the long run, you can always expect these portfolios to generally perform well because the markets are also going to perform well. But at the same point of time, in short term, nobody can really speculate whether any portfolio can perform as expected because nobody can speculate whether the markets can perform as expected. So That is the reason why short-term things should not be considered. Exit rules when it comes to expected performance is not happening. You can feel free to exit the small case or exit the Kotak basket at any time of your choice. There is no requirement to hold the portfolio for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. Let us say you have already subscribed to it for 1 year, and within 6 months you want to exit this particular basket. You can feel free to do so. You will not be asked to pay any sort of exit load whatsoever. So again, the brokerage charges questions are coming up about what the brokerage charges are for stocks, direct stocks via small cases. So it is the same, whether you purchase stocks directly or whether you purchase a small case basket or a Kotak basket directly, the charges are one and the same, brokerage charges. There will be no charges. Since these are all delivery-based orders and these orders are picked up for a long point of time, whatever is the delivery brokerage charge will be applied. So in the last 1 year or 3 years, how many times has the portfolio been churned? Is there any report for that as well? So that report will not be available directly, on the platform like that. So what you can do is, if you feel you want to find out how many times it has been churned or what stocks have been done, you can feel free to mail the investment advisor directly by taking their details which are listed there. Or what you can also do is you can get in touch with your Kotak RM, or you can even drop a mail to help@smallcase.com, and we'll be able to, maybe fix those details and share it across with you. So be very selective about what kind of details you're asking out for. So the next question is from Rajesh. If I get my target return, can we exit the portfolio and again enter when the market is down? So Rajesh, this is kind of an interesting question. So generally, there is no such thing as a target return. So, for example, let us say that a small case basket is expected to you're expected to hold the portfolio for a minimum of 3 to 4 years, and that is the time duration in which you can expect for example, about 25% return on a year-on-year basis. So does that mean that if the portfolio gives a 25% return in a span of 4 months, you're expected to exit from the portfolio and wait for a drawdown and then start entering? That becomes speculative by nature, and that is not the reason why these baskets exist. So if you want to participate in these baskets, the idea is not for you to go ahead and speculate within the performance of the basket. That is something that you should not be doing. A better suggestion from my side would be to simply set up an SIP, so that you don't have to worry about when the markets have peaked out or when it is actually going through a corrective phase and so on. It's better that you set up an SIP and consistently invest. Time and time again, this is what all of us in the industry have been saying. It has been proved that that is the best way to go ahead and invest to create long-term wealth. The ability to speculate when the market should be exited and when we should enter has not been mastered by anyone, because to a certain degree it is very random. So things like that is something that I would not encourage for you to do with products such as ACE portfolios or Kotak baskets. So do we need to, the next question is, do we need to invest every additional amount in the same amount like 5 lakhs? So Nagaraja, so that depends from basket to basket. So there are some baskets where the top-up amount also has to be 5 lakhs. There are some baskets where after the initial first 5 lakhs of investment, the next investment can start from 30,000. The next investment can start from 25,000 and so on. So it really depends on the basket. What you can do is, if you want to figure out the additional amounts, if you've already invested in that particular baskets, it's easy for you to do so. You can just log in, click on My Investments, click on the small case, and you will see something called as Invest More there. If you click on the Invest More button, it will tell you how much to invest more. But if you want to understand this much before making your first investment itself, then you can drop a mail to help@smallcase.com and we'll get back to your query. Or you can even reach out to Kotak, and if the portfolio has been designed by Kotak Securities or the Kotak research team, you can reach out to Kotak and they'll be able to answer these questions well. So I believe that all the questions have, okay, so the next question is, how to see small case list. So what you can do is head over to Kotak Securities homepage, and over there you can click on ACE portfolios, or you can click on basket investing. So over there you will be redirected to smallcases.kotaksecurities.com. Over here you can click on discover and click on all small cases. So over there you will find the list of Kotak baskets that have been listed. So the entire list is available there, and you can go through that, Mr. Khanna. So I believe all the questions have actually been answered, what have been asked today. So if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to either us, reach out to Kotak Securities. Your RM will always be at your disposal, and we'll be able to take up all the questions in a good way. So I hope that this has been an interesting session for all of you, and many of the queries that you had with respect to ACE portfolios, how to go ahead and subscribe to ACE portfolios, have been answered in this particular session. So thanks a lot everyone for tuning in, and have a nice day.